Hello guys, welcome back to Lysandra Patrice Vlogs. One question that I get frequently asked is, why did you decide to study in China? Weren't you terrified of being so far away from family and friends? Well, today is a special day because in this video, I will highlight my top 5 reasons for studying in China. Diversification of my educational profile. After completing studies in Jamaica, I started off my professional career. At first, it was fun to be in the work world and to experience applying the educational principles on the job. However, after some time, I realized that I was limited in what I could do on the job. I needed to hone my skills and to gain some new skill set in order to remain competitive in the job market and to also be more efficient. I felt it would be good for me to diversify my educational profile and study abroad. From there on out, I began to look for scholarships online and to send out applications to study mainly in the US. From I was in high school, I was always fascinated with the idea of studying in the US, and so it was always a dream of mine to go there and to learn more there and to come back to Jamaica and to apply the knowledge here. However, after I applied to many scholarships to study in the US, I always found that I came up short. I would always be shortlisted for scholarships, but I would somehow miss them by the skin of my teeth. Anyway, I still continued to search for scholarships and so on because as a civil servant at that time, it would be impossible for me to afford to study in the US, just using my personal funds. So a scholarship was the only way out for me. So I came across a list of scholarships being given out at that time, not only for the US, but for other countries, including China. At that time, my eyes were just fixed on going to the US. So I didn't have any sort of drive or, motivation to go to China. But there was just something in me that said, okay, why don't you just try your luck? Why don't you see what's out there? So I decided to apply for the Chinese scholarship. I believe I applied for one to go to Korea as well, just to see, what was the level of competition for those scholarships and also to just test the waters. I went through the application process as usual and I did my very best because you never know what will come out of you just going out and doing your very best. And fortunately, I got a call after I participated in an interview. I can't remember exactly, but I believe I just participated in a single interview and soon after that, I received another telephone call to say that I had been awarded the Chinese scholarship. I didn't know how to feel at that point because I was very excited to know that I, had received the scholarship, but I was also very much disappointed because I really wanted to go to the US. And I felt like I had a shot at another scholarship and I just did not know what to do. So it took me some time to kind of get around to the idea of really going to China. But what was really good about that time for me was just soliciting advice from my peers and also from my mentors about, the whole Chinese educational experience. Now that I had this opportunity in my hands, and it was looking very good from the likes of it. I was being offered tuition, airfare, accommodation, and comprehensive medical insurance under that scholarship. I felt like that was the whole package. And even though there was the distance between China and Jamaica, I felt like it was a very good opportunity. At that time, China was, up and coming. And there were just so many instances where people wanted to learn more about China, that, the opportunity just seemed to me like a good one. There was a lot of potential there for me to learn and grow. I was up for the adventure. And so I decided that I would go to China. Number 2, China is Asia's educational hub and is one of the world's largest educational systems. After doing my research, I realized that China is home to excellent universities that are very much interested in gaining progressive recognition and accolades on the international front. The Chinese government is serious about improving the quality of its educational institutions to be on par with Western institutions. Top-tier Chinese universities are now increasingly represented among the top 200 in rankings, like those of the Times Higher Education. So with these reasons in mind, I decided that it would be a good opportunity to go to China to learn and to grow because that's my thing. Also, depending on your field of study, China may or may not be the ideal place. In my situation, I wanted to study international trade, and because of China's prowess in international trade, it made sense for me to go and to understand their approach to international trade and investment, and to see what avenues are there for us to learn from that. So I would suggest that you do your research to see what universities are ideal for your field of study, to see if China is a good option for you. When I went to study in China, I went to Wuhan. Yes, I know. That was way before Wuhan was an overnight sensation. Once I fully decided that I would commit to going to China, everything else I decided to just soak up along the way. I was very open to the opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience in Wuhan. Wuhan is actually known as a college city in China. There are many universities there. In fact, Wuhan has the second highest number of universities in China, behind Beijing. Beijing has a total number of 92 universities, while Wuhan has 83 universities. Number 3, career prospects. One thought that lingers in the minds of students, when they enroll in a graduate program or whatever program it is, what are the prospects of me finding a suitable job when I'm finished this program? That somehow is like a major motivation for study. Getting a good job and being able to afford the basic necessities of life. So I would advise, if you'd like to study in China, do your research. See what job opportunities may arise after completion of studies. I also thought about the fact that I would build a network in China. At that time, when I decided to take the scholarship, I was not aware of the depth of contacts that I would build though, because, I just did not know, how many foreign students would be in China or so. But once I arrived, I literally met people from every single continent in the world, well, excluding Antarctica. And, I have built bonds with these people, whether they were friends who lived on the foreign student dormitory, people who I went to church with, just random people that I would meet doing various activities in China, people literally from all over the globe. I met them whilst in China. China is actually ranked third globally behind the US and the UK as a choice of study for many international students. And in 2018, it was estimated that there were 500,000 foreign students in China. And even though my university was pretty small, we had representation from all over the world, and we were able to really enjoy the cultural assimilation and the cultural, mix that we had on our campus. It was a very 那个文化是太丰富的。Sometimes when you run out of English, put in some Chinese. It works. Which brings me to number 4, learn Mandarin. Another reason why I decided to study in China is that it provided me with the opportunity to learn Mandarin. Courses are taught in both English and Mandarin, so depending on your field of study and what your university actually provides, you may have the opportunity to study in either English or Mandarin, or, there may be just either an English program or a Mandarin program, and you have to do whichever one the university has, period. No questions asked. But in my case, it was like that. It was Mandarin only. But I didn't have a problem with it because I just felt that it would add to my Chinese experience to go out there and learn Mandarin. But what I didn't quite understand was the level of work and effort needed to study Mandarin. It was unlike any other language that we ever learned in Jamaica, French or Spanish, in terms of originality and complexity. It took a lot of time. But before deciding to study in Mandarin, it would be good for you to have a goal and to create a detailed plan, because when times get tough, you are going to need it. You will have to keep reminding yourself as to why you made this decision in the first place. I decided, because I was studying international trade and of course, international business, it would be good to learn Mandarin in order to better communicate with clients and executives. What is important to note is that if you are going to be studying Mandarin in China before you do any major courses, you will be required to study for a year, and following that year, you'll be required to sit and pass level 4 of the Chinese proficiency examinations. It is hard, but it is not impossible. 好好学习，天天向上。Number 5, travel and exploration. There are so many opportunities to explore China and neighboring countries. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And just in case you are wondering, transportation is very well developed and is relatively cheap. You can literally go around to different cities in record time with the high-speed trains and infrastructure and so on. It's quite easy to learn more about this 3,000-year-old culture and society. China's awesome and monumental ancient treasures exceed all other countries for size and number. From ancient palaces to the Great Wall, city walls, buried armies, canals, pagodas, temples, and giant Buddhas. I was also very much excited to study in China because of Chinese food. Of course, Chinese food is renowned worldwide. And for me at that time, I felt like I would have the opportunity to eat a lot of sweet and sour chicken, mala chicken, General Tso chicken, all of these Chinese delicacies that we were eating in Jamaica, only to reach to China and see that these are not as common as you would think. These dishes are normally suited to Westerners' taste buds and are not really considered to be traditional Chinese food. So once I got there, I began to experiment, and I found other foods there that I really love to eat, and it was just such a joy to try new things and to learn different ways to cook different meals, and also to understand the health benefits of eating certain foods and so on. That to me was a very educational part of being in China. Just overall health and wellness opportunities. Of course, with everything, there are advantages and disadvantages. But all in all, I really enjoyed my time studying in China. It had its challenges, but with everything in life, you have to work hard in order to overcome them. And of course, with being in a different country from your home country, you will always experience, differences in cultural norms and values that you will have to overcome. There is just so much to see and so much to learn. Why not study in China? Really, why not? There is nothing that you have to lose. I would suggest do your research and see if it is the place for you.